Hello, we are closing out June. This is the last day of June 2025, and it is time for your news update. First, the economic pulse. Revenue holds, but clients are in retreat despite patient counts and invoice volume dropping by over 3%. And remember, that's year over year, but last year was also a drop of an additional, I think, 4%. So we're way behind on client visits. Revenue is still up slightly at 0.7% year over year, according to VetWatch data. Now, what does this mean? This means we have fewer visits, but we're having higher transactions, which also means that you're having a squeeze with our clients who are having a hard time potentially affording our services, as for multiple reasons the price of veterinary services has gone up faster than inflation over the last few years. Some of these were needed corrections that have been waiting to occur for a very long time, but now there's a squeeze coming on. So this trend demands that you're going to have smarter scheduling, better service bundling, and intentional client follow-ups. You're going to have to make sure that you're providing the value for your clients for their visits. Think about bundling services, emphasize compliance, and revisit your reminder system. There are many new ways you can look at services like Weave or Ally DVM, which is one we use, for example, to connect with clients in multiple different ways, find out what they want, what they like, and how they prefer to be contacted. Many of the younger folks do not want to talk to you on the telephone. They would much prefer a text message, as you all know. If you have anyone in that age group in your life, you have kids, they don't want to talk on the phone at all. I recall the first time my son saw his new cell phone buzz on the table, he jumped like he had seen a snake. It was very interesting and funny. Moving to the next category, 5 overlooked metrics. This was in the publication by Dr. Natalie Marks. She is a really great follow, by the way. She looked at these 5 metrics that you may not be tracking. Revenue per doctor hour. Now, how do you get these? I would like to ask her how she gets these in her system. I don't know how we actually track this. If you're able to track your revenue per doctor hour, your true efficiency score will be there, and it will highlight and pull out things where you're having inefficient scheduling. Are you having things that should be under the technical column, such as just in for a recheck blood sampling to recheck some values, kidney values or whatnot? Nail trims, anal gland expressions under your doctor column. Weed those out. Client retention rate. New clients, as you know, is my kind of cup of tea for helping you out with those. If you would like some further information on new client acquisition, I am now race approved in giving that 1 hour session. It's been a lot of fun. Let me know if you would have any interest. I can get the new clients in your door, but then it's going to be up to you to retain them. You have to keep the ones that you already have. You must earn their coming back to you. Inventory turnover. Cash tied up in dusty shelves is cash you are not reinvesting. Pay attention to your inventory. Make sure you're not having too much overlap in the same categories, such as heartworm preventative. Make sure that you have an option for owners to purchase through your online store. Next is staff utilization rate. Are your techs fully empowered, or are your DVMs still doing things like drawing blood samples? And your accounts receivable. Pay attention to this. Make sure you're getting those uncollected funds taken care of. As for my take, make sure that you are checking these monthly if you have the ability to do so. You're leaving revenue and client team satisfaction on the table. All of the above. Team satisfaction, it turns out that if you utilize your staff as you should to their highest level of what they are trained to do, it also improves their feeling about the practice and their satisfaction. Next is an interesting one. The relief world has seen quite a growth factor in the last number of years. There's a new study underway by Serenity Vet in partnership with Talkatoo, with a survey by Dr. Ivan Zak surveying mental health of relief vets, and early signals are troubling. Relief veterinarians now make up 9% of private practice, up from only 6% last year. Why is this area growing? It seems that there may be veterinarians that are running into burnout in the traditional veterinary fields that are seeking out relief as a respite. However, burnout in this area is climbing, and this relief of veterinary part, this field is ranking the lowest in overall satisfaction. Some of the potential challenges are lack of control, inconsistent scheduling, and administrative burden. As relief work grows, are we building a sustainable model, or are we repeating old mistakes? Time will tell, but the data says we must be aware of this. Oh, wrong direction. Here we go. Number four, the FDA is cracking down on CBD. Warning letters have been sent out. In April, FDA issued formal warning letters to these three: Bailey's Wellness, Holistipet, and House of Alchemy, for selling unapproved CBD products to pets. A special concern is CBD use in food producing animals, raising red flags for residue safety in meat, milk, and eggs. Translation for you: the FDA is watching. If you're selling or recommending cannabis based products, be very careful. Make sure you're up to date on the legal and regulatory guidance, especially in your state. Here in North Carolina, it is quite awkward. As a DVM veterinarian, we are not supposed to mention anything regarding CBD or THC or cannabis based products at all. However, you can get as much information and guidance as you would like if you're a pet owner from the local vitamin store jockey or even the gas station attendant. Next up, pet insurance. Is it rising? I'm not sure. However, it is a hot benefit in the workforce. New job data shows that pet insurance job perks have surged 170% since 2022. Now, in nearly 300,000 listings, younger workers say this brings more peace of mind than human health insurance. Isn't that interesting? And veterinary costs rose at 5.9% this year. Employers are responding. Why is this sticking? It is relatively easy to administer. There's no payroll deduction required. It is opt-in and inclusive, and it is a high perceived value during emergencies. Think about how this may shape your client base. Younger clients are planning financially for pet care. They're expecting options and transparency. I will tell you that I don't know as much about health, the vet insurance industry as I probably should. I'm familiar with Trupanion, and I have often let owners know that they do have a relatively good track record for not having some hidden fine print that would block you out of your insurance covering things. For example, I know in other cases there have been some breed associated restrictions. For example, if you have been paying in on your pet insurance for years only to find out that your Dachshund ends up at the specialist and needs back surgery, that because you have a miniature Dachshund, that surgery is not covered due to a high risk in that breed for back problems. Trupanion, for example, does not seem to have those types of gotcha clauses, and I do at least let owners know that, but I don't particularly recommend one insurance over another. There are lots of them out there, and it's hard to keep a hold on each one of those, enough, at least in my case, to make recommendations. Telehealth expansion. This bubble is waiting to burst. It looks like there are a number of telehealth providers that are starting to get everything in line and sitting on ready, waiting for legislation to pass. Here comes the flood. Dilavet, which is based, I think, out of Australia, has launched in the US, Canada, and the UK with 24/7 virtual care for as little as $35 to $49 per consult, depending on what country you're in. And those may also be converted into subscription options where you have a monthly subscription. Dutch, founded by Hims and Her CEO Joe Spector, is now partnering with PetMed Express, which is the parent company for PetMeds and PetCare RX, to deliver AI-driven veterinary care. Boy, is that good or is that bad? We'll see. Amazon is now teaming up with VetSource to provide access to hundreds of pet prescriptions online. That is part of the wave, and it is rolling fast. There's also a company called PetPace, which is a wearable tech company. Think about the Apple Watch or the Whoop for your pet, and then combine that with Telmavet, a telehealth platform, and you're going to have, think similar to kind of like an Apple Watch plus Zoom vet visit. What do you think about this? Is this going to be good for additional access to care, allowing pet owners to realize if they have an issue earlier to get into a veterinary practice? Or here's the hard question: what happens if and when it looks like legislation is trying to head this way? Telehealth is able to become a standalone veterinary client patient relationship, and they do not have to have a physical. What if soon a physical exam is not required to establish that VCPR? What do you think about that? We're not just talking about flea products here, folks. We mean diagnostics, prescriptions, and longer term care with zero hands on contact. How do you feel about that? What do you think? Add this to the projected explosion of veterinary schools. Remember, we were at 27, 29 for the longest time. Now we're heading toward 45 schools pretty quickly. What will this mean for faculty? 45 vet schools, less faculty. From what I understand, there are already shortages in trying to fill faculty positions in the already accredited veterinary school and teaching facilities. Add this to that recent mid-level practitioner legislation. Now we have a entire category of professional that we really, at this point, have a lot of question marks about how quality of the training is going to be with all they're going to be allowed to do, what kind of oversight there's going to be, and where is this position going to fit into our veterinary world? Are we at a tipping point where volume and access are prioritized over continuity relationships, and will this affect the quality of veterinary care? It seems to me like as a profession, we're being sold access to care, in quotations, but walking into the same trap that the spay neuter programs laid many, many years ago. It is only time that can tell us if this digital funded and algorithm driven process is going to be good or bad for us. And finally, veterinary medicine is evolving fast. The future is being built by you, me, startups, some giants, and lobbyists. The question is, will we own it or will it own us? Thank you for joining me this month for the Vetrepreneur update. If you found this valuable, please hit the subscribe button, share it with your team, and let me know what you think in the comments or on the socials. Until next time, keep building, keep leading, and stay vetrepreneurial. Dr. Jeff Munn.